Hey, what's going on? This is Justin here, and I am back with another video talking about movies. More specifically, I'm going to be talking about the Mission Impossible franchise because we are just coming off of a massive weekend, a massive Memorial weekend. Lilo and Stitch made a bunch of money. Like, I think when the tail of the tape is over, it's like $183 million or something like that. And then, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning opened. Also, and it was number 2. And so a lot of people kind of giving their hot takes and ranking these films. I thought I would do a ranking video and see where we land. I'll try to keep these brief and short and concise because I did an entire rewatch leading up to the Final Reckoning. So everything is fresh in my mind. So let's get going here with the bottom of my list, which is Mission Impossible 2. On the rewatch, it was very slow to me, and that could be because of all the slow-mo. And I don't know, it just felt out of character for Ethan Hunt to be dual-wielding pistols and leaping around and like birds are flying and stuff. Like, you know, the John Woo aesthetic was applied to this franchise, and I didn't think it was a really good fit. You know, Limp Bizkit is on the soundtrack. Although I think Hans Zimmer did the score, which is a bonus. So there's good things in this. There's a motorcycle fight. There's a really good scrap at the end. The intro's really cool. There's just something about it that didn't feel very Mission Impossible. The cast is great, though. Like, Thandie Newton's great, and Ving Rhames is back. And Dougray Scott, I think that's how you say it, Dougray or Dougray. Dougray Scott passed on being Wolverine to appear in Mission Impossible 2. So because of this movie, we get Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. So that's another plus. There's fun things in this. And I could probably watch these in clips on YouTube, but everything else in between was just so slow and so drawn out. But kudos to John Woo for having an aesthetic and applying it to every film that he does, because, you know, that's his trademark. But I just felt like it didn't work well with Mission Impossible. Right behind that, but like, you know, the gap is, again, far. I have to put Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, at number 7. I know it's very low on the list, but the movie asks a lot of you. It asks you to know every ins and outs of the entire franchise. And if you don't, they go ahead and recap the entire franchise within the movie. So it's a lot of exposition. It's a lot of hand-holding, which I didn't appreciate. Like, I just wanted to dive right in, but it felt like they wanted to catch the audience up because they maybe felt that a lot of people didn't see Dead Reckoning Part 1, which is, you know, I think why they did the title change. But the biplane sequence at the end of the film is probably the most insane stunt in the entire franchise, because it's Tom Cruise literally on a plane, like, and is going in all kinds of crazy directions, no harness and stuff. And he's also the camera operator. And it's just like crazy to watch. There's a lot of member berries, like, hey, eat this member berry. Remember this? Remember this? Remember this? Remember this? And it was just like, get on with the movie already. And that was kind of frustrating. But again, that biplane sequence, like, probably the most impressive thing in the entire franchise. For real. Next on my list, which is Dead Reckoning Part 1. This one gets points shaved off because they kill one of my favorite characters, spoilers. They kill one of my favorite characters in the entire franchise, which is Rebecca Ferguson's Ilsa Faust. Ethan Hunt versus AI. It just started to get a little too sci-fi for me, and I wanted it to be more spy, espionage, action, you know, thriller franchise, and they started to lean into the tech more, and I didn't really like that. It felt a little weird. After watching it the one time in the theater, I don't think I returned to it until this rewatch. And it was enjoyable, and there's like a really good car chase sequence, and there's really good bits of comedy with Tom Cruise in the tiny car. Haley Atwell is a nice addition. Yeah, it's just getting a little too crowded. The train sequence is amazing, and he also jumps off the mountain with the bike. So another great stunt. Next on my list, we have the introduction to Ilsa Faust in Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. This one has him on the side of the plane, as you can see here. I like this one too. There's some really good moments between Ving Rhames and Simon Pegg and Jeremy Renner. This is Christopher McQuarrie's first at bat, and there's a reason why he continued and went on to the end, because he understood the assignment. He really got what Tom Cruise was trying to do. You know how David Yates directed all of the final Harry Potter films? Same thing. It's like director found like the franchise and they kind of worked together. I mean, Rebecca Ferguson, for me, she kind of stole it all. Next, we have, is this right? Mission Impossible 3. I need to upgrade this. This is a DVD copy. This was the one that sort of set things on a correct path. So like, even though Mission Impossible 2 was a huge box office success, I felt like it left a weird taste in people's mouths, and that's why it took like another whole 6 years to do another one. And they smartly brought in J.J. Abrams. This is his feature directorial debut, and like, it proved that he could handle a franchise, and he infused his own things into this. This has the best villain of the entire franchise with Philip Seymour Hoffman. Like, he is scary in this movie. This introduces Jules, Michelle Monaghan's character, and then there's sort of like this emotional attachment. There's like the thing, the life that Ethan wants, but he can't have. And so there's that struggle, push and pull. Got the really cool bridge sequence. This is the introduction to Benji. This one was where things started to change. The franchise started to find its footing. This is really fun to watch independently of all the other movies. If you have never watched a Mission Impossible movie, like, this is a really good one to start with. Next, we have Fallout. This is where the franchise peaked. They got Henry Cavill reloading his arms. They got that really cool bathroom fight. They got the helicopter sequence. It, comes full circle with the Jules character and like giving that some kind of closure. But then they start to introduce the bigger picture of where they lead with Dead Reckoning and Final Reckoning. This is also sort of the end of the Syndicate, which was introduced in Rogue Nation. The stunts in this were cool. The stakes were really high. You couldn't do any better, really, than Fallout, which is funny to say because I still have 2 more movies. It's not my favorite, though, but I really do enjoy it. And Henry Cavill just crushing it. This also introduces Vanessa Kirby as Max's daughter, which is a character from the first film. Speaking of, Mission Impossible 1, the one that started it all, Brian De Palma. This is the one that is probably closest to the TV show. It's very low-key stakes. The action's not as grand as it gets, but this one laid the groundwork. That vault sequence is like amazing. And you got Jean Reno, you got introduction to Ving Rhames. I really like this movie. It's a proper spy espionage thriller. I like the pacing of it too, and then the helicopter stuff at the end. That's when you saw the potential. Wow, they could do like really crazy stunts and stuff, and he was like cartwheeling on the train. Red light, green light, the exploding gum. The tech wasn't, as crazy advanced as it was in later movies. So I like this one a lot. This one holds up too, very much on the rewatch. It is my number 2, which could only leave... Look, I got this at a Big Lots. $5.99. Ghost Protocol. My favorite Mission Impossible. I said Fallout was the peak, but so what JJ did with 3, Brad Bird directing his first live action feature, he took that, ran with it, elevated it, and really established the blueprint for the franchise going forward. This has Tom Cruise running on a building and flipping and stuff. This one is the most fun to me because I strongly feel that's because of Brad Bird and just his flair for telling a story with action. Benji's in the field for the first time, the opening sequence where he's in the Russian prison, and then that ties into the revelation about what happened to the relationship, the marriage to Jules in part 3. This is my favorite one. And then the car port fight at the end where, you know, he's trying to get the thing to disarm it. The Ving Rhames cameo. You don't get full Luther, but you get some Luther, and what he does with it is great. And then at the end of this one, as he goes into the mist, you know, he accepts his next mission, which talks about the Syndicate. And then that's when the franchise starts to really start to head towards the peak, which I think is Fallout. But this one for me is my favorite one. This one I've watched the most. I like this team. I like Renner. I like Paula Patton. The sandstorm sequence, crazy. And then the bombing of the Kremlin. This one's got a lot of really good stuff going for it. And I enjoy this one a lot. And that is my ranking video for the Mission Impossible franchise. It's also kind of a mini review of The Final Reckoning, which I did enjoy, but it doesn't sit very high on my list. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I talked a lot. Let me know in the comments below if you like these kinds of videos, if you like me ranking stuff. I hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you at the movies. No, we'll see you on the next. Bye!